Welcome to Trenton today on WBCB. We are here in the mayor's office, hanging out with Mayor Reed Gusciora. And Mayor Gusciora, it is blazing hot outside.
It is. Stay cool and drink a lot of water.
Excessive heat warnings are in effect, triple-digit heat, and the heat index maybe going to feel like it's 104. So we'll talk about how Trenton residents can keep cool today. But we have a special guest with us on Trenton today. Officer Jose Munoz,
yes, sir,
is here with Lucky, and Lucky is our very special guest.
Got a little head wound here when he was found, but Jose will can talk about Lucky.
Yeah, Lucky was found about a week ago as a brought into the shelter. He was found with this small head injury, was taken to a vet for treatment and examination. He's been fine ever since and slowly recuperating and just awaiting adoption.
Well, one of the things we're here to talk about today is the Trenton Animal Shelter. And Mr. Munoz here was good enough to bring Lucky in and has all the details for us about how those that are checking out Trenton today can adopt a pet. And it's so great to have, I think, a companion, a pet companion. I'm a cat owner and a cat lover. We've had cats for many, many years. And are you a dog guy, Mayor Gusciora?
I have two cats, and both are strays, and one was from the animal shelter through Trenton Cats, trentoncats.org.
I think that's where we got our cats.
Yeah, they'll have events throughout the suburban area, but they're all Trenton cats, so they're all from the hood, but they make wonderful pets. My last cat lasted 20 years, and he was from the streets of Trenton.
Wow.
And they make great companions, but the dogs as well. So we have a lot of dogs to find forever homes. And Officer Munoz is in charge of the animal shelter and their care. So,
Officer Munoz, tell us about Lucky's story. Before the show, you were saying he got found about a week ago?
Yes, correct. He was found as a stray running in the city of Trenton. And brought into the shelter.
He's so friendly.
And as you noticed by the top of his forehead there, he had a small injury.
Yeah.
Hence, we rushed him over to the vet just to be examined and treated. He's doing fine. He's on medication now and just recuperating. And he is available for adoption.
So could you tell what the injury was from? Was it like sun exposure? Was there some blunt force trauma type of thing?
To be honest, it's a little hard to say. As the doctors mentioned, it was already scabbing over a little bit, so it looks like it was something that was previously there for a minute. It's hard to say exactly. They didn't specify. But luckily enough, hence his name, it wasn't anything too serious that we had to really be concerned about.
So approximately how many adoptable dogs and cats right now are at the Trenton shelter?
We have, I want to say, a total of, between our shelter and a boarding facility that we're utilizing also, we have about 80, give or take a number.
Wow, that's
70 to 80.
That's quite a
pets.
few.
Yes.
So there's a need there for anybody who's with us, and if you feel the tug on your heartstrings, you might want to answer that call. And if they do, how would they get in touch with the shelter, Officer Munoz, and I don't know, maybe a website? And
yes,
anyway, they could make that connection.
Yeah, there's. I would recommend too. You can dial our number at 609-989-3254, or for all the everyone on social media, they can follow us at Trenton Animal Shelter on Facebook. Our Facebook page also has all the necessary links to the adoptions and volunteering and fostering and rescuing.
Not every animal is right for every adopter. How do you find that right connection? I mean, people can go in and spend some time with the animals there?
Correct. We like to set up appointments for meet and greets, and that way the family can come in and try to settle in with the animal and just see if it's a right fit for the family, because we also like to consider the well-being of the animal and make sure that it's a good fit for the pet also. We're trying to reduce and or prevent returns and such like that, because that isn't mentally healthy for the animal either. So hence why we like to set up meet and greets and try to match the proper family to the proper animal.
It is important you get that right match, because it's a lifelong responsibility and relationship. It's not something that anybody should take lightly.
Yeah, but they make wonderful additions to the families. They're great with Lucky. Looks like he's great with children, and a lovable dog forever for your home. So, yeah, and that's one of the problems after COVID, that we had an unprecedented amount of pet surrenders as people went back to work and they just didn't feel they could care for their animals anymore, which is really unfortunate. And then we have a lot of backyard illegal breeders that if the dog is not adoptable for their standards, then they'll just release the animals or bring them to the shelter. So it is really unfortunate that the furry creatures get caught in the crossfires of greed and just people not caring about them.
Did you guys see an uptick in adoptions during the pandemic when everybody was at home?
Yeah, I mean, everything was going smooth, with adoptions and such. But as Mayor explained, after COVID, families going back to work and life habits changing. We noticed an influx of animals being either dumped, abandoned, or released to the shelter. And now we're dealing with overcrowding and again trying to just figure out the best ways to adopt.
Well, a blazing hot day today, and we're going to talk about how Trenton residents, the humans, can stay cool with Mayor Gusciora. But before we get to that, wondering if you got some tips for us, Officer Munoz, on how we can keep our pets cool on extremely hot days. Not such a big issue for the cat owners. We have indoor cats, so they stay in the air conditioning, which is good for them.
Well, my number one tip would be the same. Keep your pet indoors during extreme weather. Obviously, they have to go out to do their necessities. That's understandable, but always being consciously aware of the inclement weather and the heat, excessive heat, and I recommend keep them indoors. If they do have to go out, make sure they have their fresh water at all times, proper shelter, and things like that to protect them from the elements. But my number one rule would say keep them inside. It's going to be hot outside. Be aware of the weather ahead of time and just keep them indoors comfortably.
If people do, Lucky's chewing on the microphone wire. If people do take their pets out for a walk and they're outside for a little bit, are there signs that we should notice when it comes to our dogs getting overheated? Yeah,
I mean, dogs can easily become overheated. We have instances and cases where we have emergency calls about, an animal having a heat stroke and things like that, and we have to rush them to the vet. Hence why I say always be aware. Never just, especially during excessive heat, never just open the door, let the dog outside and just forget about it, thinking it's going to be fine. And also, we have to consider the breed of the animal, their hair, their fur. Some breeds do good or better than others in warmer weather, and vice versa with the colder weather. So if you notice the panting, things like that, immediately bring it in the house. I would recommend, if you're going to let the dog outside and it's extremely hot, go stand out there with it for a few minutes. Let it finish his necessities and bring it right back in there. So you don't have to worry about things like that, because it can happen really fast before you realize it, and then you have an emergency on your hands.
And if they are truly outdoor animals, make sure there's plenty of shade and plenty of water. Animals have a tendency to knock over the water bowl, so you want to make sure that the water bowl is filled at all times, and that there's at least some kind of shade or some kind of relief for them in the outdoors.
I guess if you're hot, the dog's probably hot.
Yes, if you can't stand it outside, then the dog can't stand it outside. So bring them all in.
What's your favorite dog breed, Mayor Gusciora? Because I put you on the spot. Because I want to ask Officer Munoz about what breeds are best, maybe with families, or even about pit bulls have have a certain reputation, and I know the pit bull lovers say it's unwarranted, but I'm wondering what Officer Munoz thinks about pit bulls. But I like a nice golden retriever.
Yeah, I've always been a retriever person. I like a black lab, more short hair and sleeker. They're beautiful breed of dogs. And
those dogs, to me, have a tendency to be a little more docile. A dog that's jumping up on me, and I don't know. I guess another element about adoption is training, though. I think maybe the dogs are jumping up on me because they're not trained right, and they they read some kind of funky energy on me, like some funky cat energy. What about that, though, about different dog breeds and what might be best for families?
Well, I always recommend, obviously, do your research first. Think about whether you want a small breed, medium size, or large breed dog, and why. And then start doing a lot of researching into these animal behaviors and attitudes and characteristics and such like that, because you have to consider the type of family you have. Again, it's about the proper match for both the family and the animal. Just because you like a specific breed might not be good for the dog itself. So always do your research first. I'm not a professional behaviorist, but in my experience, I can say, I guess my professional opinion would be the proper raising of the animal. I know there's a lot of controversy, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, about pit bulls and such like that. And if you're not, consciously aware at all moments of your dog's mentality and behavior, something could happen. In my opinion, it's how you raise it. But again, if you do the research and you know ahead of time, what you're signing up for, you can prevent and reduce a lot of issues in the future.
Yeah, I mean, different breeds, just different type of work and training and amount of time you might have to put in to that type of thing.
And the animal shelter does have a behavioralist who comes in and assesses the dogs. We also have fenced-in areas for family visits, and
Nice.
People can come in and spend some time outdoors with the animal to see if they get acclimated to them, or if you want somebody to jump up on your lap. But you could really, they schedule the meets and greets, and so they take their job really seriously, especially for adoptions, because the last thing they want is a dog to be returned back to the animal shelter.
My cat actually plays fetch. It loves caps, like bottle caps, and I'll throw the cap, and the cat will bring the cat back. Good times.
So you don't even have to leave your chair with the beer can.
That's right. I just throw it in the other room, goes, fetches it, brings the cat back. Well, when I went through the process of adopting our cats, there was potential of a home visit, which I think because it was a cat, they said, it'll be cool. We don't have to go and see what type of environment the animal's going to be living in. But at some shelters and with some rescues, they do want to go and visit the location that the animal's going to be living in. Do you guys do a home visit or?
Yeah, sometimes again, depending on the match, it'll warrant a home visit, and we'll make sure that the home is safe and it's appropriate space for the type of animal they're adopting, that their property meets any and all requirements necessary for owning that pet, and yeah, when necessary, we do.
Trenton Cats asked for references for me.
Is that right? Yeah.
So they had to check my references.
That's some scrutiny and make sure you're a good guy. So I am the mayor. Isn't that good enough? No. We want references in triplicate. Well, you have to make sure the animals are sent to the right spots.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Correct.
take the job responsibly and seriously.
And when you guys are looking for folks, what are the hours for the shelter? When can people come by? Is it?
So we're basically open 7 days a week.
7? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're open there. We're there Monday through Friday from about 9 a.m. to about 3:30 p.m. Saturday we're open 9 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Sunday we're there 9 a.m. to about 12 noon. Again, our meet and greets are usually set by appointment. We try to discourage anyone from just popping up as we're not prepared to tend to that family or the animal. Also, sometimes they're in foster homes, or they might be at the, doing a vet visit and the animal's not at the shelter at the time. Hence why we try to set up the appointments and arrange it and organize it properly. But yeah, during those hours, people can come visit to look around, ask questions. Again, I encourage people to visit our Facebook page, Trenton Animal Shelter. It has our hours on there. And again, all the links for fostering, adopting. If you're a rescue organization, you can fill out forms on our links also to be able to pull dogs from us and such.
We do rely on volunteers that come in to do dog walks and the like, and adoption services. Not all of them are. All our services are done by city employees.
Correct.
And we do have designs on a new animal shelter that is in the works, and we hope to even partner with Mercer County College to offer vet tech services, so that we can have internships there and they can learn to be veterinary assistants right in our animal shelter.
That's awesome. Well, Lucky is so chill. He seemed like he would fit right in
Just a love bug.
with our household, I think, and just kind of a laid-back dude, and adoptable through the Trenton SPCA and the Trenton Animal Shelter. Officer Munoz, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for
we all
having
have
us.
to stay hydrated. One of the cool things I got from my cat was a fountain, and animals don't always drink enough water, and so make sure you keep your pet hydrated on a hot day today.
And with the fountain, they could play with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got cool stuff for your cat? We used to have this big tower and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they run around the house. They pretty much have the go of it. So
Does your cat play fetch?
they do, but it's more of run and identify. So I'll throw a toy mouse and he'll run up to the mouse and say, "Here it is.
Gotcha.
You come and get it."
Well, it is great to add a life to your household, and I don't know.
My cats eat. That's the other activity that they have.
Yeah. I mean, do you get them like super fancy cat food? We're pretty.
No, yeah, just basic. But they feed me when I come home. So they have that human command.
Our cats have a tendency to try to eat the human food.
Yeah, they could do that too.
I mean, do your cats need to go on some weight control?
One of them does, yes.
Yeah. Well, Officer Munoz, thanks for helping us out
again.
with Trenton today,
Absolutely.
and best of luck. Before we let you go completely, one more time, give us the contact info and how people can get. It's 609-989-3254.
Correct. 609-989-3254 is our direct line. And again, Trenton Animal Shelter on Facebook.
All right, we'll talk more about Trenton today when we return in just a moment on WBCB.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Merrill Reese here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Back with Trenton today on WBCB. And before we go any
We're
further,
in our other studio now.
Yes,
We moved to the studio with the table.
the mayor's office studio. Oh yeah, we've changed our scenery.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say hello to our friends at Trenton Central High School. I thought you were saying our other studio because typically we're at Trenton
yes,
Central.
yes, yeah.
Today we're in the mayor's office, and we'll be heading back to Trenton Central High School in the fall. Looking forward to that. So we say hello to...
At the high school, we had distinguished alumni that from the football teams that went off to college, or the California 49ers in one case, and they did a football camp.
Yeah, the one guy was drafted, right?
Jair Brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I mean,
And he came back just to hang out, and he did a football camp, and had a lot of potential and regular high school sportsters.
That's awesome. Giving back to the youngsters.
Yeah.
And I think probably somewhere in our archives, we got some Jair Brown touchdown highlights, because we have called a lot of Trenton Central High School football on WBCB, and we'll look forward to getting back to that in the fall, which is coming up pretty soon. I know we have some games already scheduled, and we look forward to getting back with the Tornadoes and back to Trenton Central High School in the fall. But here we are in the summer. It's an excessive heat day. It's like super hot out there. How can Trenton residents stay cool? I think when it gets to a certain temperature, right, it triggers some cooling stations and some other initiatives that you guys have to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, our cooling center is open. It's below the triggering point, which is 98 degrees. But nonetheless, our cooling station is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we encourage seniors to come out and have a cool sitting with the meal, some refreshments, some camaraderie, little games, so that helps them cool the day away. If it reaches the triggering point, we can't serve food because of spoilage concerns and the like. So we don't want to call it a heat advisory day today, although it is unofficially.
Gotcha. It is really hot out there.
It's very hot out there.
But these official things get triggered by when the
Yes.
temperature rises to a certain level, and we might get there later today, but right now, not quite. Any ability for Trenton residents to get fans, air conditioners, those types of
We
things
actually
at
were
this
giving some out last week, but as nonprofits accumulate them, we do distribute them. We don't have them readily handy. However, we do have 5 city pools, and one of them, Hetzel Pool, is an award-winning pool that we're really proud of off of Olden Avenue.
I thought maybe today we would recreate the moment where you get pushed into the pool, because I saw it captured in the Trentonian, where the mayor is like, kind of going, you get pushed by the kids. It's a tradition.
Unfortunately, it's become a tradition.
I think it's great. Come on.
It was started at the opening of Hetzel Pool. And
next time you should wear your Speedo, though.
Now I've learned not to keep my visit there with a wallet or a cell phone or belt or anything else that could be disposable after you get out.
That could be a thing.
But yeah, unfortunately, kids look forward to it, and even if I visit schools, they're like, "I'm the one who pitched you in." All right.
Yeah, but you mess up your phone, man. You mess up your life these days. Holy cow.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
Take precautions. But Hetzel Pool is a wonderful pool, but we have 4 other ones throughout the city in each ward, and we're really proud of them. We have trained lifeguards there, proactively trained 50 lifeguards. There's swimming pools across the country that are closed because they don't have lifeguards. We offer food, and we have other services and games for kids, and so take the whole family out to the pools.
Take a dip in the pool. Great way to cool down.
And they're open till 9 p.m., so great way to spend the summer.
This summer, one of the Trenton successes has been the Thunder. Mm-hmm. And maybe not just this summer, but the summer before with the Major League Baseball Draft League back. I'm hearing some rumors that the Trenton Thunder might be getting attached to another Major League Baseball team. I'm wondering if you have any, if you can confirm or deny these rumors here on Trenton Today.
I cannot confirm or deny, but I know that they are actively negotiating with teams. They want to do a complete renovation of the stadium to ensure that they can attract a MLB team. So I can only just say stay tuned. I'm not involved in the day-to-day negotiations or who they're reaching out to, but they assure us that those negotiations are ongoing.
I mean, that would just make Trenton Thunder baseball even better. Even it's already had a great season with this Major League Baseball draft. And I've heard from one of our WBCB colleagues now, Mike Warren, is on the play-by-play, the radio play-by-play for the Trenton Thunder, and he's been sharing some posts about their sellouts and their successful nights. And so that's something that, I don't know, people come in from the area to Trenton.
And the Savannah Bananas are coming.
Oh, yeah.
And StubHub has the tickets at $300 for...
I mean, do they have a special mayor's box? Do you need to, do you need to get a ticket?
I have to scalp as well, but it's wonderful that the Savannah Bananas have chosen to come to our stadium, and it's sold out.
For those who have not seen the Savannah Banana antics, I recommend you check it out on the internet because
your local TikTok station.
It's more than just, it's a different kind of baseball. Yeah,
yes.
Go to your local TikTok.
Well, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
I saw one highlight where their game was ended because a fan caught a foul ball. And if the fan catches a foul ball for an out, that counts. And so they went over, the team surrounded the fan, they brought him onto the field, and it's just weird, wacky stuff with the Savannah Bananas. And it's going to be, I think, a great show and probably worth the ticket price, even if you got to shell out some big bucks. I think Johnny Damon was doing some Savannah Banana stuff. He was with the Red Sox, and I think he was with the Yankees for a little while, and now he's a Banana.
Well, hey.
But the Banana's coming. Banana's coming to Trenton. He's going to be awesome. Well, right there is also where there's the Route 29 Boulevard project.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that. I saw recently that got a preliminary approval.
Yes.
You guys got the go-ahead.
Well, that's to study it. And what happened, unfortunately, is 1950s bad urban planning. Somebody suggested, let's build a state highway along the waterfront. And it also took out two poor neighborhoods. And the good thing about the Biden administration is they put out a Reconnecting Communities grant in their infrastructure. We applied, we didn't get it, but that's what really started the ball rolling. And this latest round, we got funding through the state to study it. And what we'd like to do is bow out Route 29 inward so that it would create a waterfront that we could develop. And if you go to various cities across the country like Chattanooga or Chicago, they've really capitalized on being able to bring economic development opportunities along their waterfront. So we hope to redevelop the waterfront in our future.
And in some sense, like the success of Arm & Hammer Park and the Kathmandu and all that stuff is kind of what you're envisioning, but expanded?
Yes. Unfortunately, right now we have 3 state offices at the riverfront in between Coopers and the Thunder. And unfortunately, the island then becomes a ghost town after 5 o'clock. If we can get the state to move the offices downtown, then you could reimagine that section, although that's in private development. But we want to create other areas along the waterfront as well.
And there's kind of like that connecting communities thing with the park that's, again, kind of in that same vicinity, and there's the bridge over 29. But all of that sounds like exciting potential stuff. So right now that's just in the study phase?
It's in the study phase, but we hope to really get the engines going, and as more enthusiasm is for it, we can make it happen.
The other thing I saw is it's summertime, it's a hot day today, and it is paving season in Trenton.
That is correct.
What's getting done?
We are paving all over the city in each of the wards. The county is also having major roadway projects along Greenwood and Olden Avenue, but neighborhood streets are getting paved. We have unprecedented amount of grant money that's coming in. We're really excited about that. And so stay tuned. The city publishes the lists of roads that it will be improved. But that's a big pet peeve of a lot of folks, the potholes and the conditions of the roads, and we are working on it. We're also going to do a makeover of downtown South Warren Street to attract more business and bring new lighting, and so have it really have a vibrant downtown feel.
And all of this stuff is also bringing, somebody's got to pave the streets. Somebody's got to do these studies and create these blueprints and renovate these streets. It's providing jobs for people. It's, one way to there's a little bit of a boom with paving season, I would think, at least in some people's paychecks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we have a great public works department, but we also work with some contractors, especially on sidewalks. We're doing an unprecedented amount of sidewalk renovations, park improvements, upgrades to our facilities. So there's a lot of exciting things in the works. We also have potential buyers for the hotel. Maxine's was purchased, and that's being renovated right now. So we're going to have some exciting things. We have cannabis entities that want to open up shop in Trenton. And so there's a lot of economic development opportunities.
All right, well, maybe that's one of the reasons why, lifeandmyfinances.com named Trenton, I think it was the number 4 spot of cities to live and grow rich in America in 2023. And when we return to Trenton today, I want to ask Mayor Gusciora maybe what some of the factors were that they were considering. I looked at the article, so I kind of know the answers, but I'm wondering what you think about why Trenton would be one of the top 4 places in America to live and grow rich. And we'll return to Trenton today with Mayor Gusciora in just a bit on WBCB.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3. Merrill Reese, here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
All right, back with Trenton today. We're talking about all the initiatives and projects going on throughout Trenton with Mayor Reed Gusciora. And as we get back to our discussion, again, the Trenton listed on this website, lifeinmyfinances.com. I saw the story on B101.5, so it must be true.
It must be true.
That Trenton was listed as the number 4 spot to live and get rich in the U.S. in 2023. What do you think some of the factors were that they considered?
Well, there's that old adage, buy low and sell high. Trenton prices are very affordable.
The real estate wise.
The real estate wise. There are many people that purchased rock low prices houses, fixed them up, and are now selling them. There's an unprecedented interest by developers to come into the city of Trenton. We have our Roebling blocks that are all going to be redeveloped and then finished redeveloping in the next few years.
I mean, I see all these shows on TV, Mayor Gusciora, about people flipping houses in real estate, and it would seem like opportunity to, as you said, buy low, fix the property up, and flip it for a profit, potentially.
Absolutely. I was just on Hart Avenue, and there were 3 houses that were abandoned. The city gave them to a local contractor. He fixed them up, and now they're up for sale. And good for that contractor, because he got them for very low prices, but used his own capital to fix them up. And now 3 families will be moving in there.
I mean, that's all kind of part of like the American dream a little bit, to
Absolutely.
Take a risk, and then for those families to be able to have somewhere now to call home.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And even in the Mill Hill neighborhood where the abandoned Van Sciver building was, it was a furniture factory with a castle, a Gothic facade. That's going to be developed into over 120 apartment units. Most of them are going to be market rate. So there is a lot of expressed interest. Also, all eyes will be focused on Trenton in the next couple of years for America's 250 celebration. We did all the fighting here. They did the paperwork in Philadelphia. And I think there's just going to be a lot of interest and focus on the capital city.
Well, you were mentioning some of that interest earlier today. You were at a press conference
Yes.
at the Locust Hill Cemetery, right?
Yeah, and that was an abandoned lot, and lo and behold, it was a cemetery that I think the earliest graves date back to 1799, and there's about 200 African Americans that are buried there. There are 10 Civil War black soldiers that are buried there, and was overgrown. The city did the clearance for it and brought it back, and now a nonprofit has purchased one of the abandoned buildings next door and wants to do a interpretive center for African American history in the capital city.
So there'll be a permanent museum?
Yes, run by a nonprofit, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And again, that 250th anniversary, you guys are gearing up for it, and it seems like this is another example of how you guys are kind of getting ready to celebrate the USA.
Yeah, and there's the impetus to restore Eagle Tavern that dates back to the 1750s. Certainly was here when George Washington was in town. We like to say that he stopped there for a couple of grogs after the war.
A little mead?
A little mead.
Yeah.
But we'd like to get that utilizing some of our grant funding, get that back and get someone to operate it, an operator in there. Can make a great brew pub or a restaurant again. So we're trying to focus on our heritage, on our history, and make a revolutionary history trail in the capital city, because invariably people are going to want to come to the old barracks. They're going to want to see the Douglas House where George Washington put up his headquarters, the South Broad Street Bridge that was integral to the Second Battle of Trenton, and also was the roadway where General Washington came through on his way to his inauguration in New York.
Some big time history.
Yes, yes.
To preserve and to celebrate for America's 250th. And we're talking with Mayor Gusciora here, Trenton, today on WBCB. One of the things with the Route 29 Boulevard, I was wondering if that was going to resolve the issue with some of the trucks coming through Trenton. And we've talked about that before. There was, an ordinance that was passed that prevented trucks to drive underneath the Route 29 bridge.
Yep.
And can you take us through that issue again and kind of where it stands? Is there, would this Route 29 Boulevard provide any relief in that way?
Well, I think things would be still the status quo. When they built the tunnel, the 29 tunnel, it was a $70 million project, and unfortunately after 9/11 they banned trucks from going through there. But they have 129 where the trucks come up, then hopefully connect to Route 1 or other parts north.
They kind of have to go around that.
Yeah.
That tunnel area.
And if they know that 29 in front of the Capitol area is a boulevard, they'll spend less time on there. So we hope that they utilize the major highways like 295, 195, 129, and enable us to return 29 to a boulevard that goes through the city.
Just to get back to that whole number 4 ranking for Trenton, one of the big things that the article pointed out was like location, they say, and where Trenton is between Philly and New York, right in the mega metropolis, provides unique economic opportunities for residents and also, people who would be looking for entrepreneur type of things.
Absolutely. You can get the 30-second sales pitch that we have 4 train lines going into the transit center, Amtrak, New Jersey Transit, the SEPTA line, also the light rail. We have 5 universities within 10 miles of the capital city. We have the pharmacy corridor that's right here on Route 1. And so it's an ideal location. We've got beautiful architecture in many of the neighborhoods. So people want that Princeton house, but they want it at affordable prices. They can look in our neighborhoods in Trenton.
And they also mentioned something about the taxes in Trenton, and I may be a little better than some areas of New Jersey, and I guess over the past bunch of budgets, you guys have been able to hold the line.
Yeah, this is the 3rd budget cycle where there'll be no increase in local tax levy. So we're excited about that. We got unprecedented amount of state aid, which should come into the capital city, so we're in good shape budgetary wise. We're also making improvements to our water system, and it's just helpful to demonstrate that there's somewhat stability. There's always complainers, but by and large, there's really stability, and people see demonstrative progress happening in Trenton.
Well, I feel like one of the issues that came up during our break was that also you were able to add some additional police officers into this budget, so no tax increase and yet more police presence.
Yeah, we're adding 31 recruits to the police academy for this fall, and we hope that will help with our public safety strategies.
I mean, it feels like, knock on wood, but it feels like this summer, in some regards, has been a little bit better as far as gun violence and other that type of stuff in the city of Trenton.
Yeah, we still have our challenges, but we have a summer initiative that seems to be doing a lot of good. We're confiscating guns. We're preventing a lot of shootings. We're not out of the woods yet, because you see that being experienced throughout the country, this neighborhood violence that seems to fester, especially in areas of poverty. And we have to work on that. We have to give people a lot more hope. We have to keep the kids in school, and we have to keep them occupied. Make sure they'll have accessibility to jobs, health care, and we're working on all of that.
Well, that's a big thing to take on. And when we return, want to circle back to our discussion about the Trenton Animal Shelter. That's how we got started today. Again, we'll get back to making sure to remind everybody to stay cool today, stay hydrated, and we'll get back to Trenton today in just a moment on WBCB.
Merrill Reese, here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Welcome back to Trenton today, hanging out with Reed Gusciora here in the mayor's office and letting everybody know what's up in the capital city of New Jersey. And recently saw that some of the American Rescue Plan funds were distributed to some Trenton area nonprofit organizations. Can you tell us about that decision-making process and what some of the where some of that money went?
Sure. First of all, the city got $70 million. We used the bulk of it for economic stabilization. There were a lot of revenue loss for people not paying water bills, paying their taxes. So there were revenue enhancements. But we also worked on infrastructure, trying to get money to make long-term progress in our facilities, in our roads, on our sidewalks even. But we set aside $2 million to give to Trenton nonprofits that were worthy and needed their own infrastructure improvements. Passage Theater was one of them. That's our community theater that's been long-standing. And unfortunately, because the attendance was down, but nonetheless, they still had payroll. They still had improvements. We gave them a HVAC, fixed their roof.
So I would imagine that bailout pretty much saved them. I mean, if you got no people in the seats and you got payroll, at a certain point, you can't make that happen anymore.
And in spite of that, they put on some really wonderful and clever performances. They did a two-man Christmas Carol this last Christmas, and it was really extraordinarily funny. So they have really great, unique productions. I would ask everybody to check them out for their fall season. Kinder Smile, it helps people with their dental needs. We have too many kids in this city that go left untreated because of lack of insurance or lack of accessibility to affordable dental work, so we help them out. We're also helping kids with eyeglasses. That's another proposal for spending ARP funding. Soccer, we have a nonprofit that does soccer camps, and so dollars are going for that, and we're really happy to just take care of people's health needs, but also take care of some recreational needs and artist needs.
Yeah, one of the BCB news stories recently was about the Play Soccer initiative.
Yes.
And I think that it was about the expense of the goals. Like they have to be made with a certain type of material, and this material has to come from this one company, and it's all hopefully for the safety of those participating in soccer. But it was a price tag that was kind of eye-popping to me. I was like, wow, that's...
Yeah, the sports are expensive. We're actually doing a soccer field on Taylor Street, and we're still developing our outdoor skate park, which will be in Antico Square, over an abandoned industrial site. So we're going to make improvements to our Roebling Wireworks building where Art All Night was held. We're going to fix the windows. We're going to bring in an HVAC system. Hope to get an industrial kitchen in there, so it can get utilized a lot more by other nonprofits and organizations.
And what is Children's Home Society?
They're a think tank and also a center that advocates for children, but they have some real meaningful catch-up programs, especially in academics, for children, and also taking care of their health and nutritional needs. It's a great organization. It's long-standing. We help them out with ARP funding as well.
Well, the saying is Trenton makes and the world takes.
Yes.
And today we are hoping that somebody might take one of these adoptable pets. And earlier we met Lucky, a cute dog. I don't even know we should have asked him what breed it was. Maybe just a mixed breed.
Yeah, looked like but a beautiful dog, beautiful coat of fur. And
had the right kind of mentality and attitude.
Yes, yes.
Just kind of a laid back. And you can meet Lucky, other adoptable pets at the Trenton shelter. And Trenton makes, the world takes. So you could take an adoptable pet and add to your household and to your family. The other thing I heard.
Jose's outside, ready for your car door to open. We're gonna put Lucky in there.
Lucky's gonna go home with me. The other thing, Trenton makes, the world takes, with some of the Trenton Thunder draft guys. Mm-hmm. That was kind of a neat element because the Major League Baseball draft, I think there were like 9 or 10 of those
Wow.
Thunder guys got picked up by somebody, and Trenton makes, the world takes, and that's happening with Trenton Thunder baseball.
That's why we want to keep them in the city. We want them to have that expanded opportunity to bring back another MLB team, and Trenton is really rooting for Trenton Thunder.
And I recommend if anybody's interested, to take a look at that lifeandmyfinances.com site and see why they ranked Trenton as the number 4 spot to live and grow rich in 2023, and see what their assessment was all about: location, taxes, economic opportunities, all that stuff in the mix.
So come on down to the capital city and make some capital.
All right, so next week we're back here, I think, in the mayor's office. Then or next month, excuse me,
yeah.
And then the month after that we'll go back. We go back to school.
Brianna just gave you a dirty look. What do you mean next week?
Right. Next month we'll be back here. here at the special studio with our table and everything.
Fantastic.
Before we move back to Trenton Central High School and keep everybody updated on what's happening in Trenton today on WBCB. Thanks so much to Brianne O'Neill, our video engineer. Thanks to Mayor Gusciora and Officer Jose Munoz, who joined us, and to Lucky,
And Lucky.
our
yeah.
adoptable pet. We'll see you next time.
Stay cool.